Welcome to another Sunday Stock Talk. Our game plan for this week to come and our most anticipated earnings releases for this week, starting on uh, Monday or on December 23rd, which is Monday. This is not the right one. I'll have to find a different one, guys. How are we doing? So I could not find the most anticipated earnings releases, which is odd because usually they are out by now. Now, Wednesday, the markets will be closed due to Christmas. And yeah, so give me just a second to get people in here, and we will talk about everything going on in the markets, overall ETFs, the direction of gold, NASDAQ, and the VIX index. Very interesting to see here the VIX index spike up the way it did recently. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. With that said, again, let me get a few people to tune in, share a link or two, and we will get it started. Happy Sunday, relaxing into the festive break here. Nice, yep, I got the festive sweater as well. Glad to hear that you're relaxing. All right, and let's see. Just got to share this. Now, guys, it's a short trading week. Very short week indeed. And send. There we go. Hope you guys are all having a good weekend. Family and everyone coming in to see everyone, I'm sure. Hope you guys have happy holidays. And yeah, all right. Links are finally spread. Spread with joy. Come on. Paste. There we go. And we're going to send that. Publish original. Share with the group. Okay. All right, yeah, a lot of volatility for sure this last week. Huge spike up from the fear index of greed and fear here. And then it came right back down, which is indicating people taking profits, right? So with that said, let us start the video. Everyone should now be tuning in. Okay. There we go. Checking out. Everything's good. All right, you guys can hear me okay? See me okay? All right. So, yep, a lot of fear there. SCHD coming to this key resistance level here for anyone who's investing SCHD long term. With this dividend, it is coming up to a key support level and starting to see that nice reversal. Could get a nice entry price, as it did pay a dividend recently of 26 cents. Ex-dividend date was 12/11, so you could get in for a nice little price here, get on that next payout before March, and a nice appreciation before then. SPY also catching that 607 resistance level, you know, topping out and then starting to sell off, but retracing very nicely on Friday after paying a dividend as well, $1.96 per share on SPY. QQQ, on the other hand, doing the exact same thing here, but no dividend was paid out. Okay, let me just get that right there. Perfect. All right. Okay, so as this pushed up to 539, it has pulled back slightly. Now it does have a way to go. We are looking at this on the daily chart here. So each one of these candles represents 1 day of time. So as you can see throughout the week, it did sell off, and then on Friday popped up a little bit. So I'm interested to see what happens on Monday. Is this going to continue to sell off? I can see this possibly happening to where the markets do begin to sell off. Now, if the markets are selling off, then we can take advantage. SQQQ is a triple inverse ETF of basically the NASDAQ. So when the NASDAQ begins to sell off, SQQQ will begin to rise. It's already up almost 20%, guys, in about 7 days. So last week, very aggressive sell-off. And can we see this go even higher to maybe a 52% profit, $17 per share, as this pushes back up to that 200-day moving average around $42. Now, if it does that, that means SQQQ or TQQQ would then have to begin to sell off around the same amount, about 17-20%. Okay. Now, there's nothing saying that QQQ can't come down and retest and retrace back down to this area like 470-ish, maybe 475. That's about an 8% sell-off, right? Already on top of the little bit of sell-off that's already occurred over the week, which was about 5 to 6% sell-off on the week. Okay, now everything's coming down, guys. I mean, even gold is beginning to fall. It started pulling back, the week before last. We caught those highs at 21. We noticed it topping out and then beginning to sell off, which made us kind of want to get into JDST at those $20 levels. Now look, JDST is shorting gold. So when gold does really bad, this does really well, going from $20 all the way up to $31 in 23 days, right? It already had a 50% return. And then the markets try to recover a little bit on gold, went down about 16%, even all the way down here to that $23 level, losing about 25% in about the same amount of time, 26, 27 days. Well, now it's pushed up over 30% in 9 days. So the market sold off last week. Gold is selling off. Bitcoin is selling off. We are at all-time highs. So I can see this still selling off. Now we're kind of just flatlining on the top. We're not showing any new signs of new highs at the moment. So it's interesting to see. Anyone who invested in this when we called it out last week on the Sunday Stock Talk at $23 levels, now selling at 30, you're up 30% or $7 to $8 per share. And that's just a beautiful move right there, guys. Beautiful, beautiful move. This was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Okay, we called it out on Sunday, so we didn't have any of this information other than these first 2 green candles. And it pushed up very nicely, and we were able to make some decent, for anyone who invested, was able to make some decent money on that. So now, with that said, does that mean JNUG is at a critical level here? Possibly. Now, this is the bulls for gold, right? It's at a key support level, but it broke that trend line of it pushing up. Our trade plan no longer is relevant here. It's now gone below the 200-day moving average, and it stayed along with this moving average very nicely from where we drew it. But now it's selling off, which can result in, a cheaper price for gold, technically, and for this. It can go down to $21.48. And even lower if gold wanted to continue to fall. Okay, but this is mid, right? It's starting to find support at 37. If this can retrace back up to 52 or even $60, make 66% profit, right? But it could also sell off just as easily down, and you could lose around 43%. So still no clear sign of direction at the moment on gold. Now, since we talked about the greed and fear index on the market by tracking VIX, we talked about some of these specific ETFs that track the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, and we also talked about gold. Let's move over to Bitcoin briefly, and then we will talk about our active trending up companies, our list of stocks. We have over 21 stocks that I filtered this week to where we can get the best 15 oversold companies and the 7 most overbought companies. Also threw in the 3 active trending up, so that way you're aware of what's actually trending and making new highs. Now, Bitcoin is selling off, guys. Over the weekend, it's continuing to sell off. A lot of selling pressure with Bitcoin. If we go to the daily chart, you can see very aggressively. This was on Friday that tried to make a move just like the markets, right? So Monday, everything was at an all-time high. Markets were at an all-time high. Gold, Bitcoin, stuff like that. So it pulled back on Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday it sold off, and then just like the markets tried to do on Friday, it tried to recover and make new highs. And as a result, we can't see the markets and what they have done over Saturday and Sunday. But right here, this is Saturday and this is Sunday, and it's still actively selling off. So it could potentially catch this as a support, this 93,000-ish EMA, this 45-day moving average. But it doesn't necessarily have to, okay? It can very easily come back down and retrace itself back to previous levels. I mean, it was at 108,000. This had pulled back already 13% in 5 days, losing over $14,000 in value. So with that said, it can still pull back much more. This can pull back even to the 200-day moving average, over 26%, and resulting in a $25,000 loss on that trade. So, you know, I could very easily see this going back to those $75,000 levels, which is why I'm not actively trading Mara at the moment. Now, Friday may have been a very nice move for some, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just been selling off ever since. It's kind of losing its correlation. It's under $20. Right now it's saying after hours 20.35. But active selling off, you can see on the MACD and the RSI, it's becoming oversold. But still, this can go down to $7. This can go down to $3. So we want to make sure we're very careful if anyone's trading MARA. Okay, as you can see, I don't have any active positions as I am waiting for this to somehow recover whenever it does decide to recover. Now, if you want to short Bitcoin, BITI would be the way to go. This is the pro shares short for Bitcoin. So whenever Bitcoin sells off, this begins to push up. And as you can see, it's already up. It went from 20 to 23, about 14% in about 3 days. Now, if you think Bitcoin can sell off even more, maybe get to those $70,000 levels, this can potentially go back up even to this moving average here. To $36 would be a 52% profit. If it can go up to previous levels around 100, 109, 115, I think that's pretty significant. Let's keep it simple here. Just keep the moving average and this high of 47.95. So, you know, anywhere from 35% to 80% potentially if Bitcoin sells off. So there is also something there for anyone who thinks Bitcoin is overbought. Hood is one of those companies that does go along. Now, this is interesting. It's correlated with Bitcoin, but it's also correlated with the markets because it has both available to trade in their system, in the Robinhood app. So just like the markets did, it sold off throughout the week. It popped up nicely on Friday, but it's also correlated with Bitcoin slightly. So are we going to see this begin to sell off on Monday? I do believe we can see some selling, a lot of selling pressure on Monday, guys. So holidays, it's a short week, it's the end of the year. Markets at an all-time high, gold at an all-time high. I mean, everything's beginning to come down. And this could just be a small retracement. Everything could begin to recover, and we could have a really good week. But it doesn't necessarily mean it has to, right? We can continue to have selling pressure throughout the rest of the year. Okay, so active trending up, guys. Active trending up right now. Sound, it's been trending up for quite some time. We're watching it down in these levels, as you can see, very carefully, very cautiously. In those $4 levels, let me go ahead and delete a few of these. That breakout occurred here, and those two breakouts were significant enough to push this company from $6, $8. I mean, we've been tracking this company for quite some time, and finally pushing out of that $8 range to highs of $24 on SoundHound, now pulling back from 24 to 17 on Friday, and then pushing up very nicely on Friday from $17 to $21 for a very quick 20% profit in a single day. As you can see here, even after hours, it says it, even right here, it shows on Friday it was up 15% on Friday. So SoundHound was a really great play. PLTR, again, another great play, up 8.5% on Friday after consolidating throughout the week. So still actively trending up. It is still above those moving averages. Same with Soundhound, still held above that moving average, came down to retest, held, and still actively trending up. Tesla I did put as actively trending up. It is still actively trending up. Now it did not hold that EMA, that 9 EMA, the purple line, but if it can hold the 20-day EMA, then we can see Tesla do very well, as that does you know, show signs of it holding, right? But right now it's still showing signs of it selling off, and so for that reason it's actively trending up with a retest that is needed for Monday morning. Now Tesla is part of a 24-hour trading. PLTR is part of 24-hour trading, and guys, that is actually a new feature here. I do just want to mention that real quick. If I could find it, I don't see it on here. It talks about 24-hour trading, and I did make a video on it. It will be coming out around 4 to 5 p.m., about an hour or two after this live stream, talking about the ability of 24-hour trading and the benefits of it as well, and how you can participate in the new 24, not 24/7, but 24/5 trading. Pretty interesting. All right, oversold companies. This is what we like to see. So right now I'm seeing MU very oversold, guys. This is on the daily chart here. Very, very oversold in this range. Now, previous levels of resistance about $82, and as it found support on Thursday and Friday, we can see a very significant reversal setup from those lows of 90 back to around 100, 114, maybe if it gets momentum, even those $130, $150 levels. So MU is definitely on our list of oversold companies this week. Microsoft, looking very bearish, but also doing exactly what the markets did, selling off throughout the week. It's going to be testing that support, how it did on Friday. Are we going to see this begin to sell off? I do believe we can still see a lot more of this sell off with some of these companies. They are oversold, which means they can sell off. They can continue to sell off. Now I did put Tesla as oversold, as it is, oversold relative compared to 488. A lot of hype this week, a lot of people trying to push it up to 500, saying it can go to 500 and beyond. I don't believe the rumors, guys. I don't believe the hype, and that's just me. But with my experience, anytime I get into, following the herd and following all these influencers that are trying to pump these companies, or they hear one news article that says it's going to go to 500, everyone gets in, and the people that get in are the ones buying from the people who are selling. They're selling up here. We don't want to buy. I'm gonna go on a rant for a second, but we don't want to buy up here. That is a weird drawing. I am so sorry. We don't want to be buying at the top, guys. That's where everyone's making their money. We want to buy down here at the 200s when it's oversold, and everyone's scared that it's going to keep crashing and keep going down. We should have bought at 200, 300. We should be selling at 400, 800. For anyone who bought Tesla at 450 because they said it was going to go to 500, they listened to somebody. Now they're down $25 a share. Okay, so be careful who you listen to. Smash the like button. Even be careful listening to me. I'm just going over charts and what I think. So I do believe American Airlines is oversold on a daily level, right? It still has, it's somewhat holding that support on the EMA at 17. So can this push back up to 18? Maybe retest 17.84. Right there at $18, retest 18. Go even higher. American Airlines, ticker symbol AAL. Or will this begin to sell off? Because oversold, guys, would be way down here at $9. So this one's a little iffy for me. Why, if I wanted to add it to this or not. But it's very overbought on a major level. But I hope you guys can see this right here. Very small reversal setup. This one is a little bit more risky. Okay, this one probably should be on that overbought watch list as well. For the simple fact that it's somewhat in the line of both. LUNR, again, oversold, right? It can go up to 17. It could also come back down to $7 or even $3. right? So be careful with LUNR. BKKT, very nice reversal setup, as you can see here, kind of a cup and handle forming. Very aggressive push from $10 to 37, came back down to 23, pushed all the way back up to 35, came back down and retested 25. So are we going to see this push back up again to those previous levels, or is it going to sell off along with the market? This could potentially go up 42% or $10 per share. Okay, BKKT. SMCI definitely oversold, as you can see here on the daily. Very oversold, but I'd be very careful with super microcomputers. Okay, very clean pump and dump here, right? Pumped and then just pretty much just consolidated and dumped, and now we're back to where it pretty much started. Any company that goes back to where it was previously has no sign of strength or any supporting factor for a reason why it should have traded anywhere above these key levels. SMCI should not have traded above $35 at any point. Maybe $50, right? But never 122. So as this pumped up, people got all that FOMO, fear of missing out, and just overreaction of the market caused this thing to push up. If it would have held here at 80s and 100s, maybe it would have been a solid move, and that would have showed more bullishness for this company and more like hope. But because it couldn't hold these levels and it came right back down where it was, all of this stuff is irrelevant. This whole red area you see is literally irrelevant. There's no importance whatsoever. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So with that said, on a smaller scale, this is oversold. On the MACD, could still sell off a little bit more, can come back down to 17, but everything's about mid this week, about mid-range. That's why we do these watch lists. So set your alerts for those potential breakouts. Coca-Cola doing exactly what it's been doing, just consolidating down in this oversold area. We're going to need to see a breakout and significant move for us to take advantage of a nice 16% profit here. Okay, AMD again oversold, nice range here at 117, now at $120. Could AMD push back up to that 200-day moving average, that green line there that you see, of $150, potentially making $40 in profit per share, or around 34%. And eventually, could it go up to $227 again, over 100% profit? Well, we're going to wait and see, as it has done it before. History does tend to repeat itself, and as long as we set our alerts and we keep a close eye on what it's doing over the next couple of weeks, then we can potentially take advantage of AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, okay, and make some really nice money on that reversal setup. Intel Corp, again, look at this company. Intel has been taking a hit. People are getting out of this, technology kind of era and putting it all in AI, but you need a lot of this Intel to make AI, microchips, and all this computing. It's all integrated, guys. So I do believe now with 2025 coming into play, a lot of these companies are probably going to be utilized again. They've been beat up for a while. They've been getting beat up for quite some time here. I know there's a lot of lines on my charts. That is insane. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some of them. But these are key levels, key levels of support at one point in time. All of this is going to be relevant when it starts to show signs of it pushing up. And right now at the $18 level, $19 level, if you see that is a nice area of opportunity to buy. It is oversold, and you can get a nice reversal, even just at $26 again, where it was previously back in November. That's a 38% profit, right? Maybe. Let's see. That's why I have it on my oversold watch list. Mara oversold as well, guys. Now, Mara is very particular. Bitcoin's selling off, but that doesn't mean it can't have a nice little pull up, like, say, Monday or Tuesday, like a lot of people investing into it. Now, I don't see that happening because it is a short week this week and it's Christmas. There's going to be a lot of people traveling, focused on family, focused on everything else besides trading. People are getting sick. There's a lot going on. Kids are out of school. More babysitting is going to be involved. Just everything this week is kind of culminating. And so that will probably create less volume in the market. Now, with that said, we're here at $20.35. If this does push back up to 30, which it's not going to anytime soon, then we could see some good money. Now, I noticed this does trade in the past. We've traded it, right? It does trade within like 13 to 20, 13 to 20. Sometimes it'll get stuck in this little period right here from like 15 to 20. So, you know, scooping a few up at 20, maybe 15. I'd rather scoop some up at 15. But if this can hold the moving average, then we could see a little bounce maybe up to that $24 level, 24.15 level, something like that. So I'm curious to see what happens, guys, with Mara tomorrow and this week, although I do believe it's going to just continue to sell off with Bitcoin. GOGL, we had a subscriber who called this out when it had this nice push from 6 to 14, been selling off ever since, all the way down to 8.59 now, which does look like somewhat of a key support, which used to be somewhat of a key resistance level right here, as you can see. So that is a great indicator right there. Couldn't hold this previous support, so that'll become a resistance level. Take this out, and that out, and that cleans it up a little bit. So if we can get a nice retracement on GOGL, even back up to previous resistance levels, $9, $10, it's about an 18% profit, but no clear confirmation on that just yet. BITI, we talked about this. That's the short for Bitcoin. And AMAT, again, right here at this level. I did break that previous support. It is below it, so it is showing signs of it being oversold, but still selling off. So be careful with AMAT. DJT, again, same thing. Had a very nice reversal setup here. Played out nicely from $55 all the way down to $11, and then going right back up to $54. That is a very nice reversal pattern setup. I thought we were going to be able to catch that again last Sunday on the Sunday Stock Talk. And we talked about this a couple Sundays ago. Down from 26 up to 38, over 46% profit when we called it out. Then calling it out again last week, pushing up again from 33 to 38. Very nice amount of profit there, about $5 per share. And ever now, it's just kind of consolidating and somewhat selling off. So this trade plan is now gone. We're going to take a few of these indicator lines off and kind of clear up the board a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so with that said, can we see a nice support here at the 200-day moving average for DJT and a nice continuation with just a slight hiccup on its trend line? Or are we going to see this begin to sell off even more? All indications are saying that is going to continue to sell off for DJT. So that's all of our oversold companies. Overbought currently, American Airlines, again, just for the fact that it is at that resistance level. Race, it is, Race should not be overbought. I believe this should have been oversold. That's odd. Anyways, Race was oversold, and that is a company that, again, another subscriber called out. We wanted to watch this. They have a options trade that expires, I think, mid-January, which would put us right around here. So hopefully it doesn't flatline. We're hoping that this holds support and begins to push back up. As you can see here, it had those new highs, break above, or got rejected, and it did get rejected. Okay, now finding support, so that was definitely one of our last oversolds. Now, overbought American Airlines, JDST, I believe it's a little oversold. Now, if the markets sell off, it's not going to matter if I think this is oversold because or overbought. This can actually become oversold very quickly. JDST shorting gold if gold does begin to sell off even more aggressively than it already is. Now, Sound, I do believe it is overbought, very overbought company. A lot of hype. You know, be very careful with this, as I can see this pull back to those $10 levels, maybe even $15 levels. Okay, if it goes back to $8, then none of this was significant at all. If there is some significance and that business is actually doing what it says it's doing and has a lot of future growth, then maybe it can hold that $15 level. PLTR again overbought. Same thing as Soundhound. It has to hold up to its name. You don't want this to be some kind of a pump and dump. So far it's holding true to its bullishness. Let's see what happens. Does it hold at 80? Does it go to new highs of 85, 90? Or does it begin to push down and come back down to these levels of 45, right? 45 is kind of the place where it consolidated the most relative to 60, 63. So we'll see. Very interesting to see. A lot of this bullishness came from an earnings release that happened. So very bullish from that earnings. Amazon, very overbought as well. Finding that bounce and support, but very overbought. Still could see some pullback. Now again, this was from their earnings on October 31st. Very bullish earnings. But a lot of the time, look where it's been consolidating, kind of between 180 and 200, and then a significant pullback to 150, and then it pushed up to 233. So could we see this pull back to $200? Because it's already pulled back to 220. So I'm curious, this may pull back even more. Piton, same deal with Palantir, Piton. It's interesting to see this, guys. I mean, it's not the first time this has been in this area, right? It's consolidated in this range before, between $7 and, $10. Every time it gets a little breakout from 10, it goes up to 14 or 15 or even 17, but then comes right back down between $8 and $10. Then it has significant sell-off to $2, guys. This thing almost turned into a penny stock. Okay, let me be very clear with that. Piton almost turned into a penny stock. Could have got delisted and it would have been done, right? So found support at 270, not only once, twice, but 3 times, giving us an opportunity here to collect money when this began to pull up. So from $3, okay, you're going to trip out on this one, guys. From $3, if you would have got in, to 10 was a 244% profit in about 100 days. Okay, that's $8 per share, and you could have bought hundreds of shares, thousands of shares. Now, with that said, from that initial earnings report in August, it's been very bullish. Had another earnings report on October 31st, remained bullish, but notice how it tested this EMA. A lot of consolidation in this little area here. So can it come back to this previous consolidation area where that initial bounce happened? Yeah, it could definitely pull back. Could definitely pull back to that level, $7. Because it's been there previously, before. It's been there before, multiple times. Okay, which could give us an opportunity to buy, put it on the oversold watch list when it gets down to 7s. And it could also come back down to 2s or 3s, right? But this is definitely overbought, showing signs of it selling off finally. And then you have Apple, very overbought, but doesn't mean that this company can't continue to go up. This is honestly a new support because that was previous resistance, and this will become a new resistance as it's been tested already 1, 2, 3 times last week as a resistance at $255. So yeah, that's our Sunday stock talk. That's all the companies that I'm looking at and watching. I took 21 companies and condensed them down to the oversold watch list, overbought watch list, and actively trending up. I guess I could add an active selling off, which would be nice, because when there is a company selling off and it's actively selling off, we want to watch it, and then it would becomes oversold and actually has signs of being oversold and signs of consolidation. That's when we put it in the oversold watch list, right? So there are some oversold companies that still are not showing any signs of support that can potentially still sell off even more. I do want you guys to be aware of that, but that is the breakdown on these companies that I find to be of interest moving forward for the week of 12/23. Market's going to be very interesting this week. Very short week also, only 4 trading days, as Wednesday the market will be closed. And not only that, I just want to wish you guys the best Christmas. If I don't see you by then, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I appreciate your time. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, so you can watch me trade as live as tomorrow morning, where we're gonna try to make a few bucks, and we're gonna watch the markets get together. Nothing too crazy, but just showing up and watching the markets together can sometimes be the best way to learn. I know that's how I learned from people who I watch live streams from. Get inside their head, their thoughts, and learn from our successes and also from our mistakes, so you can, be more successful in your trading journey. So I appreciate your guys' time. If you don't have any questions or comments, if there's any companies you want me to call out, I can do that now. I'll wait a couple minutes for anyone who may want to drop a ticker symbol in the chat room. And if not, then I wish you all the very best. I'll give it a minute or so. If anyone wants to drop a ticker. Hope you guys like the new thumbnail. Let me see if the most anticipated earnings releases is out yet, as I may be able to show you guys. Let's see. Usually it comes out about right now. Also, you can sign up with our Discord if you haven't already. You're watching this to the end and you're serious about day trading, swing trading, or just learning how to invest overall. Check out the first or second link in the description. That'll give you access to our free Discord. Actually looks just like this. And then our Learn to Earn lesson library. That'll give you everything you need to know before you start your investing and trading journey. Very easy. It's like 10 videos. Very quick and simple to understand how to get set up with a brokerage account. What is a brokerage account? If you use WeBull, which is what I use, how to set up WeBull to look like my trading platform specifically. And if you find that interesting, I have videos on also setting up your paper trading simulator. We can go to that now. Here's a paper trading simulator where we've been able to, I think we made some decent money here. Paper account, 300 on DJT, 300 on SMCI, 100 on JDST, 47 on LUNR. Overall for the year to date, not really much progress. We got up to, almost, 800 and something dollars. But not negative either, right? We started the challenge with 30,000 just to do it, just to play around with it, with some of our members, LTE members. And I wanted to showcase to everyone as well that you don't need real money to trade before you learn how to trade. You want to learn how to trade first, and if you want to do it with regular money, you can smaller amounts. You can, right? Like if we wanted to reset this, say to 25, you can, or to 2,000 or to 200, you can, right? And that takes a lot of that risk away from making bad choices when you first start as a day trader or swing trader. Okay, so hope that makes sense to you guys. Plenty of they have cash accounts available, they have margin accounts, joint accounts. You could put your traditional IRA in WeBull, your Roth IRA. You can you do a lot of different things with WeBull. They now offer 24/7 trading, which that video will be dropping in about an hour after this live stream. So definitely check out that. I give a little bit more detail of how that works. And as you can see, like this right here shows a little 24-hour symbol. Overnight trading refers to trading period from Sunday 8 p.m. to Friday 8 p.m. So very cool, very interesting setup there. Let me see. I'm gonna check one more time, and I'm not seeing any most anticipated earnings releases for this week, which is very odd because usually there is. No one's called out any tickers. All right. That's all right, guys. Hey, as we grow as a community, our YouTube channel will give us some time. Bear with us. We have over 6,000, 6,500, 6,100 subscribers on the YouTube channel, over 70,000 members in the Investing for Beginners Facebook group. But does anyone even use Facebook anymore? Right? Does anyone even use it anymore? I don't know. You tell me. Over 70,000 members in our private group. Definitely check this out too if you want. Basically, just share different, just different stuff and in different areas, pictures and interesting, facts. People do talk in here as well and give their input, ask questions, and everything between options, real estate, investing in cars, whatever. Definitely check it out. Looks like we have over 16 people right now. We're approving all members, and then we filter out any spam, and we're actually doing a really good job with that. We have some moderators in the channel that are very active in our group and do a really great job of moderating the channel. So thank you for our mods out there. And yeah, very cool, very interesting. A lot of great information. Definitely check it out. All right, smash that like button for me, and I appreciate you guys' time. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning.